Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Rhee the Explorer, and this is a continuation of my PhD in Switzerland series. Oh, don't mind how I look like. I have a cold. I'm coughing a lot. Excuse me. I cough a lot, and I haven't been sleeping so well. So bear with my horrible looks. Anyway, that's not important. Now, in today's video, I want to continue my series about my PhD journey in Switzerland. So, I am an African nurse doing a PhD in nursing in Switzerland. And I have my channel where I get to tell you some aspects of my PhD journey. And on my channel, I don't only get to talk about the PhD, I talk about life in Switzerland in general as well. Some funny stories and some interesting sceneries, interesting cultures. So please check me out at Rhee the Explorer. Now, today I would like to address a very important topic in the PhD, in my PhD journey. Look, I want to tell you a bit about the type of PhD I'm doing, and at the end, I will talk about stress management. Now, there are two types of PhD, as you may already know. There is PhD by publication and PhD structured type of PhD. So I'm not doing a PhD by publication, rather I'm doing a structured type of PhD, whereby I have a research project, but also I have to take modules, so the academics and the field study. So mine is a structured PhD program. And now about PhD by publication. Usually that type of PhD is done by people who are experts in a field, who have already done a lot of work in that field and probably already published some work. And then they don't have to do so much, but to put together all the works they have done, publish them into some form of publication and attain a PhD. And that's PhD by publication. And it's very different from a structured PhD. Now, who can do a PhD? Actually, these are the questions that some of my subscribers have asked me, and I felt let me just address some of those. And at the end, I will talk about stress management in your PhD journey. Now, who can do a PhD? My take at the moment is the younger, the better. Why do I say the younger, the better? Because as a young person, you may have a lot of time at stake to do a PhD. I mean, a PhD takes a lot of time and energy, and the younger you are, the better. In the aspect of you have a lot of time to do everything or to accomplish everything, even to experiment things, like, yeah, to not take it so seriously, but take it like a fun thing with all the time you have at hand and accomplish it. But I also think that the older, the better. Why? Because the older you are, the more experience you have, and probably the more experience you have in a specific field. And so it just makes life so much easier to have some kind of experience or in terms of previous knowledge or yeah, how to deal with people, how to lead teams and such kind of knowledge and experiences, experiential knowledge, but also some soft skills that come with age. I mean, so for me, it doesn't really matter whether you are young or old, you can do a PhD. And so those are just some of the aspects that I see in my view. You may have a different viewpoint, and that's just okay. I would always advise anyone to do a PhD at whatever stage in life they are at. And now, what challenges do you face? One of my subscribers asked me, what are the challenges that I face on my PhD journey? I have to say that the challenges are so many. So many, not to discourage you, but to tell you the truth. The challenges are so many. But there are also a lot of positive stuff. So, but first, let me talk about the challenges because this is the question that was posed to me. Now, depending on the PhD program that you may have, you may face different types of challenges. And remember, these are my viewpoints. This is my experience. It doesn't mean that it applies to everyone like this. Other people may have different viewpoints and different experiences than I, and so please take this with a pinch of salt. And so, depending on the program, you may face different challenges, and especially the time constraint. Time. I think the aspect of time is a challenge for everyone. It's not only specific to PhDs, but I think also in work life, people face this challenge of time. But particularly to the PhD, sometimes you have a PhD, they say you've got 4 years from A to B. You have 4 years or 3 years to take your PhD from A to B. And so within this time frame, you have to do a lot of stuff. And I have to say that at the beginning of the PhD, that's when people lose a lot of time because as a PhD student, no one leads you. No one gives you hints on what you need to do. You need to find your way, you need to find your niche, you need to find your question, research question. You need to find the way and you need to define a roadmap for your PhD. But at the beginning, you have no clue. And I think it doesn't happen to me alone that I don't have a clue at the beginning. When I speak to other people, I think other people experience this cluelessness at the beginning, and that's when you waste a lot of time. And so, the earlier you can draw up your roadmap, the better. And I mean, a roadmap is not drawn in stone. You can do that with the help of your supervisor or with the help of your friends or a mentor, and just define your path through that 3 or 4 years that you have to complete your PhD. And so the earlier you draw up your roadmap, the better. And I would say that you don't draw up your roadmap once and forget about it. You have to revisit it every other week or even every day to see, is it still valid? Do I need to revise something? Do I need to change something? Do I need to think about something? Because as you read, a lot of scientific literature, you get to know a lot of stuff and you get to get even more ideas or even better ideas than you have than you had at the beginning. And so having a roadmap and revising it every now and then helps you to really refine your PhD niche and your PhD path. And so at the beginning, remember, you waste a lot of time trying to find your way. But if you really document all your thoughts, all your decisions, and put everything in the roadmap, I think you would eventually save time in the middle of your path or at the end of your PhD. And so that's one way of overcoming this challenge of time. And and so time management is super. Set goals. Set goals. Set goals. And I cannot emphasize this enough. Setting goals, like really have an idea of what you want to do in your PhD, what you want to do for your PhD. Remember, that's the highest education that you can ever have. And so, and deciding that you want to do a PhD, really, I think that you want to do your best as well. So set your goal and really focus on that goal, because there are many things that can derail you from your goals. And so about time, I think those are my views about how you can save time. Um, but another thing, how I I use time myself. I don't mean that I'm the best in saving time or in keeping time or I'm the best in managing time, but I also see that when you plan your days, even on daily basis, like every evening, sit at your desk and plan your time, plan your day the next day, and try to do work packages, like package your work like in 4 hour blocks. For example, tomorrow I want to start at 8 and I would like to take 4 hours to read this and that literature. And then the next 4 hours, I want to write about this and that. And so, like that, it can be blocks of 2 hours or even blocks of 1 hour, depending on how much you have to do and what you have to do. But I feel like planning a day, the evening before your days, and planning your days in work packages in blocks of time, it saves a lot of time, and it really um, drives me to like really do what I said I would do, because you can't lie to yourself. But I also know that there are other aspects, like, yeah, one is just tired, one is demotivated, or even imposter syndrome, and then you end up not really sticking to your plan. But I think that if you have that and you promise yourself and you even set reminders to remind you that you have this block and you need to be doing this and that, I think that way you can really manage your time well. um be very strict about the plans that you make and the promises that you make to yourself. Wow. Another challenge is finances. This is a big one. And please, if your PhD is financed, it's fully financed, check with your supervisor to be very clear about what is financed and what is not financed. Because somewhere, somehow on the way, you end up losing a lot of money as a PhD student. You lose money. In the first place, you are earning very little, but then the little that you earn, you are losing it. Or in some instances, you're paying for your PhD and probably you're working or you are not working. And so I think, in my view, doing a PhD is some kind of wasting money. You waste money. And so if you're wasting money, and anyway, money is not your ultimate goal. Probably your ultimate goal is you want to attain your PhD and do something meaningful with it, change the world with it. Then money will not be really your biggest problem, but we have to talk about it, we have to address it. You lose money. And so if your PhD is financed, check with your PI what is financed and what is not. In my specific case, I have lost thousands and thousands of Swiss francs. Sorry, um, I lost thousands and thousands of Swiss francs because I'm taking courses in another city far away from where I live, and my research project is in another city, again very far away from where I live. And so going to these two places, so to the courses and to the project, or to my office where I'm hired, it takes a lot of money. And so I lose a lot of money on transport, really thousands of Swiss francs. And this is not covered in the PhD, because the PhD is actually the research project is financed. So everything that has to do with the research project is financed, and everything that has to do with the academic part, like attending classes and gaining points towards your PhD, is not financed. And so be very careful, be very sure that you are okay with losing money. In the PhD, do, during your PhD journey, you will lose money. And so if money is your motivation, please, this is not your way. Anyway, I do not want to scare you, but I think that finances is an important aspect to address, and address it very early in your PhD. And if you're financing your own PhD, that's a different case, that's a different situation. And so, yeah, that's how it is, but it's really expensive. Now, now I have been talking about challenges along my PhD journey. What are some of the good things? Hmm? Wow, you get to learn a lot. You get to learn a lot, especially soft skills and other transferable skills. With that, I mean skills such as academic writing, scientific writing, storytelling, digital skills, many others. And most of those courses are really for free. For free. In my case, I take those courses for free. And actually, it's like it's balancing out. I lose money on one aspect, but somehow I gain money on the other aspect because I'm gaining all these skills, and these skills will really help me earn money at the end of my PhD. And so I think it's a give and take situation here I'm experiencing. But I just wanted to say that there are many other good things in the PhD, and so don't only look at the bad ones, because I will be the last person to advise you against doing a PhD. And so I talked about some of the skills or soft skills or transferable skills that you attain or that are good for a PhD student. And I have to say that really this is not an exhaustive list, but as a PhD student, take use of free courses, take use of any opportunity to gain soft skills or transferable skills, because after your PhD, the whole world will be open to you. And you can really, like, it's like the sky is not even the limit, because you have so many skills and skills enough to take you anywhere. You can work across disciplines, I mean, across fields, and you are not limited to the specific field in which you did your PhD. For example, me as a nurse doing a PhD in the area of diversity nursing, you know, it's like I will be able to work in research, I will be able to teach, I will be able to also work for other organizations looking at diversity or even other things, because as a PhD student, you're trained to be really, really multifaceted. And so go for it. Now, to my last point, the very, very important aspect of this video today: stress management. There is a lot of stress associated with PhD. PhD students have a lot of stress, and I'm not saying that stress is limited to PhD students. I think stress is everywhere in our society today. Stress is like a part of us, but that's not normal. We shouldn't normalize it. And so PhD related stress is what I want to talk about now. What do you do to overcome stress, PhD related stress? You know, I will share with you my own experiences. And so I'm not a therapist and don't take my advice like written in stone. Take it with a pinch of salt. Now, the first thing I would advise, like what I've done, is get a mentor. A mentor is not your supervisor. This should be somebody else, someone with experience, with coaching, mentoring. And so I have a mentor who I discuss everything with, and this person kind of guides me in personal life, but also in my professional life. And even we do things like career planning. You know, after your PhD, you need to be aware, or you need to be sure of what you really want to do at the end. And so having a mentor, those are some of the things that you can discuss. So please get a mentor. Um, get a network of like-minded friends. I have to tell you that you really need to underline the word like-minded friends, because not every friend wants you to succeed. In my case, I have friends who have told me, quit it, quit the PhD. It doesn't help you. It gives you a lot of stress. You're neglecting your family because of your PhD. Stop it. For what use? It doesn't have a use in Switzerland. In Switzerland, you don't need a PhD to be able to work in nursing. And so, not every friend, not every family member wants you to succeed or wants you to do your PhD. And so, if you're surrounded by such kind of people, in my case, I am really surrounded by people who frequently tell me to stop my studies, to stop my PhD. That's not helpful. So, find like minded friends. And if it's family members who are discouraging you about that, find a way to avoid them or find a way to blank them out, because that's not what you need. And so be very careful about the friends. Friends are key in this situation to help you overcome your stress, but have like minded friends. You know, I have friends who are really good and they they like what I do, but I have friends who constantly tell me to stop it. And I have to tell you, if you're that friend, I will not bow down to you. You won't be the one blowing out the candle from my light. No, I say no. Anyway, if you are in such a situation like me, please send me a comment. Let's exchange. Let me know about your personal experience with friends and with family. Is there anyone encouraging you to go ahead with your PhD, or are people only discouraging you? And so find like-minded friends and even family. um I spoke about doing a roadmap for your thesis or for your whole PhD, and I can't stop overemphasizing the fact that you really need to do that. Draw up a roadmap. Um, get a psychologist, or yeah, if a psychologist is expensive, get somebody you can really preempt everything to. You know, somebody you can tell everything, but I would prefer somebody who is a therapist, some kind of therapist, if not a psychologist, because this stress can be a huge stress. I mean, you know, stress comes from everywhere. So you have stress of time, you have a stress of finances, you have stress because you have to deliver something, or you have stress because you need to do something, let's say a literature review, or you need to define your methods for your thesis, but you have no clue how to do that. And all these things are stressful. And so you really need somebody you can tell everything, even if the person doesn't help you with anything, but just to exchange, to have somebody listening to you, somebody feeling what you feel like. And keep talking about your PhD topic. Keep talking about your topic, keep talking about what you do. Because imagine if somebody spontaneously asks you, what are you doing, by the way? What's your hypothesis? And then you try to imagine what that is and you try to explain to the people. It sticks. In my experience, the more you talk about it, the more it sticks. And I was told this by my supervisor, who told me, talk about it, talk to people, talk to, talk in every, whenever you have any chance to speak, speak about your PhD, speak about what you're seeing, what you're finding. And like that, you really get to concretize things. Things become clearer in your head. And for me, I think talking like that gives me a lot of um, satisfaction and a feeling that, hey, I'm on the right track, or hey, I need to look at that, or I need to review this or that. So talk about it, talk about it. um get a funny hobby, really get a funny hobby. I have a friend who is doing funny stickers. You know, we say we don't have time, but we have time for a funny hobby. Yes, that's necessary. A friend is doing funny stickers, you know, if when you see what she's writing on her stickers, it's just so funny. It just makes you laugh, you know, such funny things that make you laugh. They help you overcome stress. In my case, I'm doing some really funny, stupid videos. Stupid, I mean, just being me with my shortcomings and my weaknesses and just my authenticity. It really helps me see how shitty I was looking, like for like in this video. I look shitty, my eyes look like, oh, I haven't been sleeping for weeks. But that's the reality, yes. And when I see that, I see, yes, I need to do something about this. And this is who I am, this is what I am. And so get a funny hobby, do stickers, funny stickers, do some cooking, start vlogging, start a YouTube channel and talk about everything that you're doing, you know, such kind of things. And do some sport, you know. I realize how even just 15 minutes of sport outside in nature, in air, you know, in fresh air, I sleep so well, my mood is better, my mind is clear. And so even if you don't have time, like it is the case, like it might be the case for you, it is the case for me, you hardly have time, but please try to do some kind of sport, even just dancing. Just put on some music and dance for 15 minutes. Yeah, and that will pay, that will pay your sanity. Yeah, and so with that, I want to come to the end of this video. And please, if you like my video, do support my channel by subscribing, by liking my videos, by commenting, and by hitting the notification bell so that you know whenever I post. So this is me, and I want to say bye bye and thank you so much for your time. Until next time. Bye bye.